Good day to you. This is Mr. Mbenga, your teacher of Civic Education. So today I want to introduce you to a very interesting topic, and that is the media. Now, what we're going to look at under this particular topic are these objectives. So, by the end of the lesson, I will expect you to identify different types of media, analyze the content of media coverage on governance issues, and discuss the role of the media in governance. So these are the objectives I want us to achieve by the end of the lesson. Let me take you straight into the meaning of media. Now, the word media comes from the word medium, meaning go between. Mass media refers to technical devices that make possible the dissemination of information to a large number of people. Now, when we say media, what should come into your mind first is dissemination of information. Mass media, we are basically talking about disseminating information to a large number of people using technical devices. Now, there are two types of media. There is what we call print media and electronic media. Print media relies on printed paper to disseminate information. I'm sure you've come across, printed paper on which there is information. This is also referred to as the press. Now, the print media consists of periodic literature and the daily newspapers. It also includes notice boards, posters, and brochures. So you must be able to understand. All these are examples of print media. Now, the media can also be classified according to ownership. We have what we call public and private media. When we say public, we mean the media owned by the government. When we say private media, we mean media houses owned by private individuals or companies. So those are classification of media according to ownership. Now, the public media is to a large degree owned and controlled by the state, while the private media, like I earlier said, is owned by individuals, private companies, or institutions such as churches. Now, examples of print media in Zambia may include the Times of Zambia, Sunday Times, the Zambia Daily Mail, National Mirror, the News Guard, the Post, the Monitor, the Guardian, the Weekly Angel, the Challenge magazine. Now, these are examples of, print media that we have in Zambia. As you're able to see, these are newspapers indicating the print media. There you go. These are newspapers being sold by a man indicating print media. Now, let's get to the electronic media. Now, what is electronic media? Electronic media uses electric and electronic methods of disseminating information. The common ones are television, radio, cinema, videos, internet, and satellite. These are the most common electronic media forms. Now, electronic media operating in Zambia can also be classified into private and public. Now, examples of private media or electronic media, you can give examples of private TV stations and private radio stations. I'm sure you're familiar with a couple of them. When we talk of public electronic media, you give examples of the government or public media houses controlled by the state. So here are the examples. We have the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, Radio 1, Radio 2, Radio 4, and we have television stations TV1, TV2, and TV3 owned or controlled by the state. These are public media or electronic media. We also have Radio Phoenix, which is private. We have Radio Christian Voice, Radio Echengelo, Movie TV, Diamond TV, Crime TV, and the internet medium. So these are just a sample of, examples of electronic media. Now, as you're able to see, we've had the evolution of the media. In the 1960s, for example, we never had, phones. We never had internet connectivity elsewhere. But today, we are technologically advanced and we keep on advancing. So implying that media has kept on evolving. As you're able to see, this is TV1 and they are broadcasting news to the public. This is what we call electronic media. Now, let's get to news agencies. We have what we call news agencies. This is very important. I've seen a couple of questions in examination past papers talking about news agencies. Now, news agencies are media institutions which collect, supply information to media organizations. So they collect and supply information to media organizations or institutions. Examples of such agencies include the Zambia National Information Service, ZANIS, Zambia, the Zambia National there is, the letters to the editor. Now, letters to the editor are there to provide a platform for public, views and opinions on certain matters. Now, some radio and TV stations or programs allow the public to debate community and national issues. I'm sure you've heard of some radio programs and TV programs where people will be invited to discuss public and national issues. Now, the media can also campaign for or against leaders or government policies. As you're able to see in this picture, this is what we call the race to mandate. Whenever we have elections, during the period of elections, before elections, during the period of campaigns, all political candidates are invited to discuss or to debate and show to the people or the voters so that the voters can have confidence in the candidates. Candidates will be there to debate issues and give them or to sell the ideas to the public so that the public can be able to know and understand the caliber of the leaders they are voting for. So all these are the roles of the media. Now we get to another role, which is to set the agenda. They set the agenda. The media cannot report everything. So what the media decides to report is what will be in the public domain. If the media decides to report on something, that is what will be in the public domain. If the media decides not to report something, that will not be in the public domain. So they set the agenda. They must choose what to report and what issues to ignore. In this way, the media decides on behalf of the public what is news and what is not. Consequently, people see the world through the eyes of the media, and this in turn influences people's opinions about issues. Therefore, the media plays a key role in informing public opinion. As you're able to see in this picture, the media was reporting issues of violence, meaning that if the media decided to report peace, for example, on this other picture, this is what could have been in the public domain. But at that moment when they were reporting violence, the idea in public domain was that of violence happening. So this is what occurs. So what the media decides to report is what is in the public domain, and that is how the media sets the agenda. Now, what are some of the shortcomings of media coverage? Why or what are some of the challenges that the media houses face in media coverage? Some of their shortcomings include ownership and control. Now, those who own and control media organizations tend to use them to serve their own interests. Where the media is owned and controlled by the state, for example, the task of the media is to unite the people behind the ruling party and its policies. And this is not good. If the media is controlled by the state, it does not imply that they should be always on the side of the state. So this is one of the shortcomings. Censorship is also widespread, and news is limited to what the government leaders do or say. So what this simply mean when we say censorship is that before news is given to the people, government leaders, top government officials will go through the news and be able to remove certain things that might not settle well with the current government. And that is not good. Even where government organizations are even where media organizations are privately owned, the media is often used as a commercial enterprise. Instead of providing information to the people about what is transpiring, they will keep on just providing adverts for commercial purposes, which is not good. That is another shortcoming that comes with ownership and control of the media. Facts are often manipulated to cater for interests of the owners, advertisers and the readers to increase circulation and minimize profits. Media sensationalism is often used by private media as a marketing strategy. So all these are shortcomings of media coverage. Now, the other shortcoming that comes with media coverage is laws restricting press freedom. Another limitation of the media is on the form of laws that restrict freedom of press. For instance, under the Penal Code, it is an offense to publish seditious publications. Now, seditious publications is any material that cannot, or should we say, seditious publication is any material or information that can bring hatred or contempt against the government and its leadership. So anything that that would bring people to rise against the government is an offense. So the media is limited to publish such kind of information. This makes it difficult for the media to report unfavorably on government policies and leaders, even when they are not performing well. Accessibility is another challenge, is another shortcoming of media coverage. Now, public access to media is restricted by various factors such as limited circulation, affordability, high levels of illiteracy, and discriminatory policies of some media organizations, which deliberately deny publicity to people holding views contrary to their own. So what this simply means is that if you hold an idea contrary to what the public, believe in, or contrary to what the government is doing, you might not be given a platform to air out your views. In Zambia, about 60% of the population live in rural areas, where the circulation of the print media is almost non-existent. Therefore, the rural population mainly rely on radio news from the state-owned broadcasting corporation, although this is also dependent on affordability of radio sets. So, if you go to rural areas, you might not access a newspaper. Instead, you might only be able to use a radio cassette, like this woman is doing here, trying to listen to some new information or some news, like this man is doing here, using a radio set. And not everyone can be able to afford a radio set in rural areas. So, information is limited. Accessibility is limited. That is why it is a shortcoming. These newspapers do not even reach these rural areas, thereby having inaccessibility to information. Now, I want to take you straight into a few examination questions. I'm going to begin with question 10, which says, modernization through mass media has contributed to shrinking of the world into a global village. Now, let me just explain what global village means. A global village is the interconnectedness of all the countries across the world using internet. You can be able to know what is happening in the USA without going there physically. So we are a global village. We are one village, which is a global village because the internet connects us. Now, which one of the following is a limitation to the media? Just from talking about limitations to media. Now, to inform and educate, to act as a watchdog, accessibility, to set the agenda. So the best possible answer here is accessibility. That is the limitation or the shortcoming of the media coverage. Question 12. Which of the following is not a function of the media in good governance? Is it A, to act as a watchdog? Is it B, to inform and educate? Is it B, preach hatred? Is it D, promote public debate? Now, which of the following is not the function of the media in good governance? Now, act as a watchdog is a function, to inform and educate is also a function, preaching hatred is not a function. So the answer here is C. Question 13. Which of the following is the limitation in the media coverage? Cost of advertising, freedom of ownership, to promote debate, to set the agenda. Freedom of ownership. This is the best possible answer. Freedom of ownership. Now, question 19. What is the role of the media in good governance? To broadcast news, to investigate corruption, to defend the ruling party, to act as a watchdog. What is the role of the media in good governance? So the best possible answer here is to act as a watchdog. To act as a watchdog. Now, question 2. What mention, or let's begin with define media. Define media. So like we earlier alluded to, we said media is the dissemination of information using various devices. Mention two types of media. We have print media and electronic media. Mention any two roles of the media. To act as a watchdog, that is number one. To inform the public, to promote public debate, all those are roles of the media, among others. We are on C now. Identify two factors that limit media coverage. One of them is accessibility. Like I earlier indicated, we made mention to say accessibility is one of the factors that limit media coverage. We also have ownership. That is also another factor that limits media coverage, among other factors. Give one example of private media. Now, we said private media, this is owned by, individuals, the private companies, and other organizations, as well as churches. So you can give examples of TV, you can give examples of Prime TV. If it is print media, you can give examples of news diggers, the Post newspaper. You can give various examples here. So these are some of the examination questions I wanted us to go through. I would like to thank you for your time. I'll see you in our next meeting. Have a good day.